Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Well, Goofballs, the two Giant Goofballs, the New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm me, Rob. Let's get that show on the road.
Well, it's time for a different road. It's the Week 5 road. The quarter season mark is upon us. The quarter quell, if your Mockingbird Hunger Games may.
That's another movie I've never watched.
You've never watched The Hunger Games?
No.
My God, who are you?
The guy that doesn't watch the Hunger Games.
Because my hiccups keep going. We'll be guest starring by my hiccups this evening.
Yeah.
All right.
Guest starring.
So, before we get into the actual picks episode portion here, we do have to talk about the fact that the Giants signed somebody. That's like a CD skipping there. I'm hiccuping. You may know the guy. He's a former Giant, Justin Pugh. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, the guy who couldn't stay healthy with the New York Giants, so they let him go a couple years ago, and still couldn't be healthy with the Arizona Cardinals, is now once again on quest to not be healthy with the New York Giants again.
Sounds like a wonderful trend of that line.
Like I said, I just got to call it like it is. I mean, we got rid of him because he was injured basically every single year. So, I mean, if you go year by year, 2013, he started every game as a rookie, then played only 14, 11, 8, and then we got rid of him. Then with the Cardinals, 7, he played all 16 for once, 15, 14, and then last year 5. Every year he's injured. That's just what he does. Now, the beauty of it is we're signing him on for Week 5 and beyond. So maybe the first 4 games he missed are the games he misses for the year. I'm not sure how that works.
He's already in deficit of games started, so hopefully he can play the rest of the season for us.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind he's also coming off of a large injury. He's off an ACL injury there. So, I mean, I think we have to keep our expectations there pretty low for him, considering he did not necessarily play the best last year in the 5 games he was healthy before the injury either. So, I think
the New York
torn
ACLs. So we shall name this team the New York torn ACLs.
Yeah, but the bigger issue for me is the fact that they signed him so quickly into the week. Tells me they're a little bit concerned here about John Michael Schmitz. I think this has a lot of saying about that because they didn't wait till the beginning of the middle of the week. They were like, "Okay, game's over. Let's sign him." But they didn't sign him last week. They had 10 games to get him ready.
Yeah, I think there was a statement after the last game. Maybe they listened to our podcast or every other podcast out there talking this past
That was not a statement because I'm sorry, Justin Pugh does not solve this offensive line.
No, but it looks like they're trying to do something and gives a little depth. Not saying that he's an asset. It's just something cheap we do to look like they're working on it.
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
No.
This is not enough to make a difference. Justin Pugh is probably better if he's healthy, probably better than a lot of the guys we put in the guard position. We're talking about McKeithen, Glowinski, potentially Azudu, those kind of guys. He's not better than Bredesen.
No.
He's not better than JMS. He's sure as hell not better than Thomas. But if you're telling me adding Justin Pugh is supposed to fix anything, especially as we're about to go against Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills for the next 2 weeks, I'm not so sure this fixes a damn thing. I would say if Justin Pugh comes out and plays like 10 years ago version of Justin Pugh, it still doesn't fix anything.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it looks like they're trying to do something. He would be a good depth piece, not a starter.
Yes. No, I'll 100% give you that. My whole point I'm making is this doesn't do it.
No.
This doesn't. Yeah. Like I said, I think that this is, I hate to say it, folks, it'll be a long season. And if you listen to some of the stuff that came out after the game there, Devin Witherspoon, we talked about a lot coming into the draft. We were big fans of him. Keep in mind, this is the kid who literally didn't even play until his junior year of high school. This is not a guy who grew up playing Pop Warner, played, freshman year and all in high school. Like, this is a guy who literally has been playing football now for about 5 years.
Yeah, it's just full of talent and not injured because of playing football his whole life.
He said after the game, in the end zone, when he had that interception, he said, I saw Daniel Jones lock onto the receiver, and I knew he always locked onto his number one receiver. The guy's been playing football for 5 years.
He's doing his homework.
It's not just his homework. When you have a rookie who's been playing this fourth game ever in the NFL, and he sees this, that's an issue. That's an issue.
Let's take a step back. He plays for Sneaky Pete, and Pete's looking at the tape, which I'm sure Sneaky Pete's looked at more tape than he has, and says, hey, this is what this quarterback does. Just do this.
It's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. Like I said, I've been I wouldn't say a fan, but a supporter of Daniel Jones since the day he came onto this team. I will continue to support him as best I can as long as he is a New York Giant. But all my hope in him's gone.
I'm not that far, but
all of it's gone. Gone.
And we'll be talking about this when he goes and scores 75, 77 points in the next 3 games.
We're not playing the Broncos, damn it. I wish we were playing the Broncos. If only we're playing the Broncos. Instead, we're playing the team that put up 70 points. It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into some of these picks here, but let's get into the comments here. So I know some of our regulars are in here talking about the incident here. So John says, we got JP. Can we now get our defensive end JPP back now? I would be all for that. Let's take it. Deb says they have bigger problems that Pugh is not going to solve. Definitely.
Yep.
100%. John says, come on, Deb, be positive. LOL. And he says, of course they watch this podcast, since Rob insinuated the Giants watch the podcast. Listen, I'll tell you this, and this is something that I look at stuff to see where we're at, not just from the show itself, from the business side of things and where we're at. If you actually Googled, and again, this is my own personal account, everybody's account results can be different. Giants Seahawks post game, we were like the third or fourth thing that popped up. So they might, who knows? We were on for longer than later than pretty much everybody except the entertainer, because that man just stays on till like 5 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't care.
That's amazing. And then he goes to work.
I know, he goes to work the next day. See, Deb says, for the first time as a DJ supporter, I must say I saw nothing but confusion from DJ. I'm concluding that he just can't think fast enough. I'm joining that we need a franchise QB wagon. Well, welcome aboard the wagon, Deb. It's Wagons East, everybody. Wagons East. Remember that? You ever see that movie, Wagons East?
No.
That was John Candy's last movie.
Oh, I did see that. I forgot.
Yeah, John Candy's last movie. I think he died like halfway through the making of it, basically. Where everybody who went out west decided that they made a mistake. They went Wagons East instead of Wagons West.
Yeah. It was a similar story with Chris Farley, because I think they filmed like 90 or 95% of those last movies.
Yes. Yep.
And they both were Frontier movies.
Yeah. It's not like the last movie of Bruce Lee where they had multiple people playing him and had like a superimposed image of him on a mirror at one point.
Yeah.
That was bad. But we got to see him fight Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, so it was worth it.
Touché.
Let's see. John says, I have faith in JP. Plus, he's good for rotation if needed. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's a bad signing per se. I just don't think it's enough to make a difference. I'm not against the signing. Let me be very clear on that. I just don't know what this solves. I'd rather almost let the kids just play it out and see if they improve during the season, so you have a better idea of what you got. Because I really hate to say it again, but I think the season's gone. We're going to be, we're 1-3. Let's be honest, we're probably going to be 1-5. There's really not much coming back from 1-5.
Yeah, if we're lucky, we might be 2-4.
Yeah.
If we're lucky.
Not much coming back from there. Deb says, also, O-line has talented people whose performances have declined under this coaching. Yeah, Bobby Johnson's got to go. Got to go.
Yep.
John says, DJ has the stuff. It's just a lot to get getting hit so often. Try getting hit consistent and still function. I don't doubt that as part of it. Don't get me wrong, John. But it gets to the point where when I see him making obvious mistakes in his 5th year that you expect to see out of a rookie, it's an issue. I don't think he has, and I don't want this kid saying that I'm trying to say he's stupid. I'm not trying to say he's stupid.
He went to Duke.
But I don't think he has the football processing power to process at an NFL level. And that's pass rush, that's receivers. I just don't.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to it. I mean, definitely the top 2 problems with, and you can figure out what it is. The top 2 problems is that O-line and DJ right now, especially after that last game. He didn't have time, but he also made terrible throws.
Yep.
He almost had 3 interceptions besides the 2, and the 1 was just a bad interception.
That pick 6, I mean, he zeroed in a Paris Campbell from the get-go, never looked off him. Meanwhile, Darren Waller's in the back of the end zone wide open.
That's what I'm saying.
Wide open.
So there was a couple deep times where, did he have the time to process to look down the field before getting sacked? Some say yes, some say no.
I think here's what I'm getting at is, regardless if he had the time to process at his speed, I think it's a safe evaluation to say he doesn't have elite processing. Is that a fair statement?
Currently, no. He's looking way worse.
Currently, he's year 5.
Yeah.
Oh, year 6 is the one.
He's looking way worse than what he should have. He looks like he digressed from last year.
He does.
And I think part of the problem is, not that we need to dive into this podcast, but
we're already diving.
Yeah. You got bad offensive line. We have similar play calls. No Barkley we have similar play calls from last year. We're trying to do a whole bunch of slants. Everyone knows we like the slants. How come we just can't throw out a couple verticals more often? That's part of the problem. If you you may get a couple picks, but if they're down the field, okay. You threw a 4-yard bomb. I don't want to see it. But when you throw a pick 6 and you're only throwing for 3 yards, and that's all your play is, I think over 50% of his passes was in the backfield this last game. You can't win football games like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously
to me, like I said, he lacks the elite processing. And I'm at the point where I've given up any hope that we can win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones. Can we become a playoff team in the right scenario? Obviously, we did it last year. If we can't win a Super Bowl with him, I don't need him. That's my goal, Super Bowl. That's the Giants' goal year in and year out. We're not the Browns. We're not the Lions. We're not happy with one playoff win. We're going to be happy that particular season, but if that's the ceiling, that's an issue. Like I said, I'm at that point. I'm done. John says, help me, Obi Drew. You're my only hope. Okay, John Leia over there.
He's got the Cinnabons.
Raphael, what's up, man? Says,
what's up,
salute Drew and Rob. John says, you're welcome. I share often as I can about you guys. LOL. I know you listen. I know that we have people in here that help us out and share things left and right and spread the word. And trust me, it is not unnoticed. It is not unappreciated. It's nice that we have that core group of followers that we know pretty much are going to be here pretty much every episode. And don't get me wrong. When I say that, I don't say there's like a take it for granted. Like, oh, we know they'll be here.
Yeah, we
It's
love it.
nice. It's nice. We got guys in here that we see on a regular basis. John, obviously, you're pretty much here all the time. Raphael always pops in to say hi. We know he's in. Deb, obviously, you're here pretty much every episode as well. Beef, who just chimed in also, she's pretty much always here. It's nice that there's that core following. I feel like I know you guys, even though none of us have ever met in person.
Yeah.
I feel like I know. I feel like I know, and it's almost like we're doing group therapy as Giant fans now, because especially with everything going on, we're group therapy here now. John says DJ trained by the same guy Eli had, so I don't know why he can't process. I do you remember if Peyton had him too? If no, maybe we can get that guy to help DJ because Peyton processes fast. No, it was the same guy. What's his name, Radcliffe or whatever the guy is, who was the quarterback coach.
Yeah,
the trainer that was the coach of the Duke Blue Devils there. Yeah, same guy. Like I said, it's like math, and I hate to use this analogy because I hate math. Some people can do it, some people can't. So, yeah.
I mean, math's probably not the best analogy
but it is because it's processing. It's processing of things.
Everyone can do math if you put it on paper.
No, you can't. Listen, you give me an XY axis and ask me what the radius of a square is, or whatever, a radius of a circle is on that. I'm gonna have no goddamn clue.
Yeah, because that doesn't exist. You're taking algebra and go put it into geometry.
There is that. That is in geometry. It's part of geometry. I'm just saying it's stupid.
Yeah, but there's no three sides of it.
I'm just saying,
of a circle.
It's ridiculous. Deb says elite QB would handle this better and open things up, would help the O-line. No, and she's right, 100%. Part of this, and again, is on the offensive line for not being good, but a quarterback would be able to help get around this better if he can process quickly and efficiently and open things up better. Good line, good not. When would you thought that you look at both sides of a game with the Giants and go, oh my God, why can't our quarterback do what Geno Smith is doing? And don't get me wrong, Geno didn't light the world on fire against us. He did not.
No, they're very similar stats, actually.
But he played efficiently. And he went through his checkdowns and got where he had to be. Also while being hurt.
And that was DJ last year. So
it was.
Why can't he do it this year?
I just, you know what? I think, yes, it was DJ last year, but a lot of it also was like, oh, well, he's struggling because he doesn't have weapons. And we have him now weapons, and it's the same struggles, if not worse.
So then where does it come from? Because last year with less weapons, he played better. Now that he's got more weapons, how do you degress?
The line played better last year, which helped mask some of his deficiencies, I think. I really do.
But did he play that much better? I mean,
yes, Andrew Thomas was there the whole time. Don't tell me having a second-team All-Pro left tackle to protect your blind side is a huge help.
I mean, he still struggled with Evan Neal. He still struggled with, his right.
This line is decimated. It's exposed the issues that are still there and shouldn't be there in 5 years. All right, let's get through some of the comments real quick, though, because we got to get to the picks here. It's like 21 minutes in. We haven't even looked at one single pick yet. Sheesh. Beef says Eli is third all times in turnovers. I'm just saying. Listen, I
he's probably up there with sacks too.
Eli is like the Brett Favre of the New York Giants, and
he's got more Super Bowl.
I will always defend Eli to the end because I do think his clutchness was underrated, and I do think he was put in a bad scenario for much of his career thanks to some bad decisions personnel wise, but. Yeah, no, he threw a lot of turnovers. I remember when a few years ago, actually, it's not even a few years ago. This is probably like 7-8 years ago. I went to a game that the Giants had the Tampa Bay Bucks come into town, and the Giants pulled out, won in overtime. But it was a very close game. Eli threw 2 picks, and I'm like, this is a quintessential Eli game. He threw a couple picks, but he got it done when he had to get it done.
Yeah, he was good for 4 touchdowns and 2 picks.
That's what he was.
3 touchdowns, 1 pick.
John says, "You live me. You really love me. Smooches. LOL." Deb says, "You can't teach processing." John says, 2 plus 2 is 22. LOL.
Jello.
And Valves, by the way, I'm going to say that. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be because it's Valves with a Z, BTW, which I know is by the way. Yes, by the way. Says, "Hey, what's up?" Well, hey, what's up back there?
Hey.
Hey, ayo.
Hey.
Hey. Beef says Brett Favre is number 1. Oh, yeah, he is. I'm just saying Eli's the closest we have to a Brett Favre as far as that. All right, let's get into our picks here because we talk more about the Giants. We're going to get more and more depressed.
Yes, let's talk about my depression because I had nine wins just straight up. I had 7 wins against the spread, and probably my worst week with the over-unders at 6. Totaling me up for 38 straight up.
Well, hold on. You did have 3 trifectas. Don't forget that.
Oh, I did. I skipped right over that.
Oh, you did. You skipped over those trifectas.
Trifectas.
Tres leches. That's good cake.
3 milks.
It's a good cake.
38 for the season thus far. Straight up. 32 against the spread. And 31 against for the over-unders. And 13 Tres leches.
Oh, yes.
Go to get diabetes.
Diabetes.
Now, Drew is winning, and he had a hell of a week. He bounced back from a terrible week.
Oh, my God. I was so crappy last week.
Yeah, well,
embarrassing.
You worked. You got 12 wins straight up this week.
That's 12 of 16 wins, guys. 12 of 16.
Pretty solid.
That's solid.
8 against the spread.
That's half of them. I'll take it.
8 over-unders. And trifectas. Tres leches. We had a lot of milk this week. Drew, you're 41 on the season, straight up. You're
43. 43.
Yeah, 43.
Let's not short me too. 43. I have the same cheat sheet you do, damn it.
43 straight up against the season. You're 33 against the spread. 33 with your over-unders with 13 trifectas.
Yeah, so we're tied for the trifectas. I got 5 more wins than you overall. Straight
match right there.
I have 1 win on the spread picks and 2 wins on the over under. So we're close overall.
Yeah.
Only thing I really have a decent lead on it is the overall picks. So let's go into this week and how I'm going to whoop your butt even worse.
Oh, let's stop it.
Oh yes.
I think there's a few games we're going to have the same trifectas on.
What did you say?
I said there's going to be quite a few games this week that we're going to have some trifectas on.
I think so. And I think we're going to start off with the first one.
Oh, yeah. Thursday
Go for it, Rob.
This is what you call... Thursday night. This is when you call Jeff Bezos and ask for your money back for this game. And you got the Bears going into D.C.
Come on, Jeffrey. You can do it.
To play the Commanders. The Bears are giving up. Well, they're the 5.5 point underdogs in this. And the over-under is 44.5. This is a sloppy game. This is 2 teams that don't know how to win. One team has a decent defense. One team has...
I don't know. The Commanders know how to win half their games. They're a consistently 500 team.
Yeah. And they're going to sadly win.
You know what they remind me of? And no disrespect to the Dolphins because we're playing the Dolphins this week and they're going to whoop our butt probably. But remember a couple of years ago, the Dolphins were consistently 8-8 every year?
Yeah, for like 5 years straight.
Yeah, that's what the Commanders remind me of. They're in purgatory basically because they have a decent team, but they just don't have a quarterback.
What did they have last year? 7 wins?
I want to say about that, yeah.
Yeah.
They're consistently around that 500 mark. They just don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, I think they've been consistently like a hair below 500.
Yeah,
especially now that you got the odd number of weeks, odd number of games this season from last year too. But,
all right, sorry, you're giving your picks and I interrupted. I apologize. I was being rude.
I know because apparently I took the beats in the spread, not the Bears.
The beats. We got the beats.
We got the beats.
We got the beats. Yeah, we got it.
And the under.
So I'm going to agree with you on just the fact that the Commanders win. I got the Commanders to beat the spread. I think this is a team that is just done, guys. The Bears are just done. Like, you think it's embarrassing being a Giant fan? Imagine being a Bears fan. Like, it's bad.
Oh yeah,
It's
they hate
really
their
bad.
life.
So, yeah. So I think that the Commanders win. They cover the spread. I actually have the over on the points. I think that the Bears don't necessarily put up no points.
Well, they put up
So
points, but the Commanders. My logic was they don't put up that many points.
let's say it's 20 to 25 in that kind of range. Actually, no, 20 to 20.
I was about
Let's
to say,
see.
then I win the spread.
Yeah, you win the spread pick. Let's say it's 20 to 27. That's the kind of game I'd expect at that point there. I'm going to go over. I think it's going to be slightly over. I really do for some reason.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll let Justin Fields run for once. Free Justin Fields.
they
Free
might.
Justin
It's
Fields.
about the time they did it last year. And if
Now,
they do that, it definitely goes in the over, and the Bears actually have an opportunity to win this game. But I doubt that. But so far, I did a little homework today. The Bears are 0-4 in the over this season.
I know. I'm not going logically. I'm going with my heart. My heart says over. My heart must go on and on.
King of the world.
I do also think that when they lose, expect a press conference on Friday. They fire the head coach, because everything I'm reading is saying if they lose, they're going to fire him. They should have already fired him. Should have already been done.
Yeah, watch that team turn around.
Let him go.
Let him
go. The sad thing is they also lost their defensive coordinator for whatever legal reasons there. I'm not going to get into that. We already discussed that when it happened there a little bit. So, yeah, they're down to defensive coordinator and down to head coach. They're going to be.
That's pretty interesting.
Not good. And their OC is Luke Getsy. Luke Getsy. Oh, yes. Now, you may be asking, who is Luke? You might be asking, who is Luke Getsy? And you wouldn't be the only one, because I'm Googling it right now, because I don't know who the hell this guy is. But that's who their offensive coordinator is right now. And apparently, he was the quarterback coach in Green Bay. That was his job before this. So I'm not so sure that he's ready to be a head coach, but he may be one by Friday.
When the Bears head coach gets fired.
Unless they want to hire Jeff Saturday. I heard he's available.
I saw him on TV.
Oh, it's
all right,
bad.
ready to go to jolly good old London?
Oh, Chip Chop Jolly-O in the roar to the Jaguars.
Yeah. The Jaguars, who feel more at home in London than any other football team, will be playing the Bills, who are at home in London. And the Bills play great at home. It's hard to beat the Bills when they play home. Just saying.
They're known for their home wins.
The Jags are giving up are plus 5.5 in this game as well. Over under on this is 49 points. I took the Bills straight up. I took the Jags in the spread, and I took the over. I think the field that they play on is a fast field. Every time in the past 3 years that team's gone over there and played, it went to the over. Because it's not Wembley, they're playing in the other fields with the different grass.
Tottenham.
So yeah, I think the Jags.
Tottenham and cheese.
I think Jags will have a little bit of a home field advantage because they stayed out there in London from last week. London, even though they had to move different stadiums and hotels, but that's a minor move compared to going across the pond.
You know what? I think the Jaguars are one of those teams that I don't think they know fully what they're doing yet. And what I mean by that is there was no expectations last year. They rose to the occasion in the second half and won the most pitiful division basically in all of sports. This year, there's expectations. And they haven't really blown those expectations, out of the water here. I think personally, they just don't know how to win yet. They need a little bit of veteran leadership on that team to kind of ground them a little bit, if that makes sense. I think the Bills have that, though. And I've said early in this year, I think the Bills window may be closing. And I still stand by, like, there's only so long you can keep a good team like this going in the free agency time period before it starts going downhill. Based on what we've seen the last couple of weeks, it's not this year. So I'm going to say the Bills win. They cover the spread. I have the under on the points there because I do think there's going to be less points. I think the Jaguars are going to have trouble scoring on this Bills defense because they've had trouble scoring for much of the year.
It's been like a hit or miss. I think
Yeah.
they've been averaging 26 points a game. So,
but when they score a lot. This is not the defense you score a lot on.
when they play in Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I mean, when they play at home. When they play at home.
All right, next game.
Going to Sunday, 1 p.m. You got the Texans.
Sunday afternoon.
Noon. You got the Texans going into Atlanta. Yeehaw!
Cacao.
Texans are giving up 2 points on this, and the over-under is 41.5. Drew?
Every week we say there's a couple of games we wouldn't touch with our 10-foot poles. This is that game. This is two teams that I don't know what the hell to even think of them yet, to be very frank. The Texans, very young team. I think they've been playing with a lot of heart, been playing a little better than a lot of people expected this early on, but they're still not a good team, let's be honest. You got the Falcons, who have 7 running backs and not much else on offense. And their defense is above average, but not like elite. So I just don't know which ways to go with these guys. So as our friend Harry the Greek would say, I would go to El Paso on this one here and not bet anything on it. But since we're going to have to bet because you and I don't take the cop-outs, I'm going to say that the Falcons do win it because I'll take the veteran leadership on defense as the reason they win. I have the Falcons to win, Falcons to cover, and I have the over on the points because I do still think it's a little bit low. I think something's going to happen in this game. It's not going to be crazy, don't get me wrong, but I think it'll be like a 21-24 kind of game, just enough to kind of squeak over that bar.
Yeah, this is one of those games, El Paso all the way.
Yeah.
But if one of us gets a trifecta on this game, the other one does not, because I went the complete opposite on you. I think Texans is a young team that's been playing good football. Their defense has been showing up to games, keeping it in, playing nasty, nitty-gritty football. And they're keeping it close for the most part in a lot of these games. Nitty and gritty. These Falcons, like you said, they don't know what to do in the run back situation. Their quarterback.
They have a quarterback? When did they get one?
Well, there's talks about he might be benched next week after this game.
Horrible. Now you know who their backup is, right?
Who's that?
Taylor Heineke. Oh yes, our old friend from DC.
Interesting. Now watch that team around.
I'm saying that's an upgrade. Listen, you can say that Taylor Heineke is not a very good quarterback, and you'd be 100% right.
He's a good.
But what the man is, he's a leader and a competitor. That's an upgrade over Ritter all day long.
Yeah, I mean, Grant, you got Pitts, who's supposed to be one of the better tight ends in this league. You got 2 solid running backs. Your defense is above average, but your offense can't put it together. So, yeah, Texans in the under. Is it going to be like one of those 10-17 games, maybe 10-13? Yeah, it's going to be low scoring.
An elite tight end having trouble getting it together on offense that's struggling. I wonder what that's like.
Oh, we know too much of what it's like.
Next up,
you got the Battle of the Cats.
Meow.
You got the Panthers going to Detroit, play the Lions. Panthers. This is a hell of a spread. 9.5 points. The Panthers.
It's a hell of a spread.
Yeah. Over under is 45. I'm betting the Cats to win this game, hands down.
Yes, I agree with you. One of the Cats, I think, is going to go ahead and win.
Yeah, I think everyone knows which bandwagon I'm on. It's the Lions. I've been on them for a little bit now. Lions and
He's been
Texans.
brushing up on looking down and working on his roar.
I'm gonna be like Simba.
Oh, we just can't wait to be king.
I'm even taking the Lions to beat the spread because this Panthers offense is pitiful right now.
Pitiful.
It is god awful. And I even took the over. That's how much I think that this Lions offense is playing.
You know what?
Well.
You know what? I agree with you all around.
Ooh.
Yes, 100%
Dogs.
agree. Next up,
Another El Paso. This game also could be on Prime.
nope.
Thursday night.
I would never El Paso this one. I have a very clear-cut winner, I think.
Oh, I do too, but it's going to be a
now you
boring
do.
game.
Now that I say that, you have a clear-cut winner. Ooh.
I think it's going to be a very boring game, is what I should say.
Oh, I don't think so at all. I really don't. I think this is going to be a fun game.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm not even kidding. I really do, because you got King Henry. Looks like you finally got things getting going. Anthony Richardson's been a lot of fun to watch this year.
Yep.
So, well, way to downgrade and hurt the ratings here for the game.
Hey, listen, I want both.
You have the power. NFL teams are listening. Didn't you hear, John?
Listen, I want both those guys to do well because they're both in one of my fantasy teams.
Oh, fantasy teams. I knew this. Yeah.
Yeah. So Titans are playing the Colts. Titans are laying 1 point on this game, which means it's a flip of a coin because they're playing in Indianapolis. Over under is 42.5. Joe.
Yeah. Colts.
That winner.
Colts, and Colts. It's Colts all day long. This is going to be.
You took the Colts for the over under. That's impressive.
I took the Colts for the over under. Well, I'm taking the over.
Oh.
And I think the Colts are going to win, so it's kind of taking the Colts. Yeah, but I think this is going to be a fun game overall. But I do think, listen, when you're talking 1 point differential, it's a pick'em game. You just say who you're going to win, and that's who you go with.
Yeah.
The Colts, I think, have been playing very well. I think they've been very well coached. I think that it's been impressive what they've done, considering how bad they were towards the end of last year. No matter how horrible Coach Jeff Saturday was, they still looked like there was just really no talent in that team. And they get rid of their top corner in the offseason. They have a rookie quarterback starting, and they've still looked good. So I'm going for the Colts.
He's looked great. I took the Colts. I took the Colts in the spread. That's like we said, it's pretty much a pick 'em. Unless it's a push, it's pretty hard. But I did take the under. So, but I will wait to bet this game because if Jonathan Taylor returns, there's talks about him playing a little bit. There's talks about him actually playing this week. If he plays, you guarantee that's going to be an over.
I don't think he's playing.
You don't, but you're also not. You're also not in Indianapolis looking at the coaches.
Yes, I am actually. You don't know where I'm at.
Oh, I actually know exactly where you are.
Where am I?
You're at your house. In your
garage. Where's my house? In
House.
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I have multiple homes. I am independently wealthy.
Oh, wow. Good for you. Up next, the game that we will not talk about much because we'll be talking about this tomorrow night.
Oh, yes.
You got our G-Men going into Miami to go on vacation. Nice. They'll be playing Miami going on vacation.
Three for a loop, right? What the hell is that?
What the shit? The Giants are laying 11. They're looking. Vegas is saying this is a blowout, and the over/under is 11.5. Woof.
Woof, indeed.
Which is pretty much saying that they will put up 14 points.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do that.
Go quick. You remember, it's our game. We got to go quick. Tomorrow is the pregame show.
You make it this longer than it has to be.
Picks. You're just prolonging the anger and the hurt and disappointment.
I was just saying the stats with the switch. I would have just said it anyway. Anyway,
go for it.
Dolphins over.
Dolphins under. Mostly because we can't score a single point.
Yeah. Anyway, we got the Saints going into Foxborough.
And the Saints go marching in.
To meet
now the Patriots. The Patriots are also known for their marching. So is this like a marching game? Like it's like the battle
It's
of the
gonna just,
marching bands?
I was about to say, it's just going to be the marching bands, and they're just going to beat the drums the whole time, and whoever
Ah,
makes it across first wins.
this one time at band camp.
Oh, it was a drumstick. That anyway, the Pats somehow are given 1.5 in this, and the over/under is 40.
Yeah. This is going to be talking about the bad game before. You said with the Titans and the Colts. I think this is going to be the bad game. So we still have an injured quarterback playing in Carr of the Saints. We still have a talently challenged quarterback playing in Mac Jones. The Patriots got their butts whooped last week, literally the worst loss in franchise history. I said Belichick's history, I should say. Probably not the Patriots' history. They've had some bad years. I think the Patriots come back with a vengeance. I think they're going to take that loss a little personal. I think they win. I think they cover the spread since it's so minimal. And I think over on the points just because it's so low. I don't think it'll be an offensive juggernaut game. I just think that it'll be an average scoring game.
You're giving it way more credit. Listen, if Winston was starting for this game, I would have took the over, but I took the under in this game because you got beat up Derek Carr, who actually was worse than Derek Jones last week. He had 21 throws for 75 yards, and then he had a garbage time throw that went for 34 yards to Kamara. Or not to Kamara, to whoever he threw to. So this guy got 100, it was 117 yards at the end of the day. Like, that is bananas.
BANNAS, whatever. I guess. Remember that No Doubt song where she was spelling bananas, but I can never spell bananas on cue. I don't know why. I can't do it in song. I can't spell in song, people.
Damn it. Alvin Kamara also had 11 catches for 34 yards. This is where I was going to go with 34 yards. And he had like a 20-yard play or 25-yard play. So their offense can't get it together with that beat-up arm of Carr. So I took the under because of that. But I think the Pats are licking their chops to beat up on that offense. And I think it's more of a defensive game.
All righty. Next up.
All right.
All right.
I don't know if you know this, Drew, but the Ravens are playing the Skeeters.
Oh, you know what I do know? I will tell you what I know. I think you're going to like knowing what I know. You know what I know?
What do you know?
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
Had to pay the bills there. Okay, onto the game.
No John comment? All right. Yeah, so you got the Ravens going into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is still laying up 3.5 on this as the underdogs playing the Ravens at home. 38 is the over-under. Yeah, I took the Ravens to win this game, but I took the Steelers to cover this in the under. I don't like this over-under. I don't like Lamar Jackson playing the Steelers because in his 5 games against the Steelers, he won 2 of those. He's also only got 680 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, or actually 6 interceptions. And then he's also had 11 rushes for like 76 yards. As much as this Steelers team can't put it together, they play well against the Ravens and they're home. So they'll cover the spread at least. They won't win the game, but they'll cover the spread in the under. And this could be like that 3-9 game.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you on that one. I think something is wrong in Pittsburgh. And
even when something's wrong in Pittsburgh, they always play the Ravens well.
I got the Ravens to win. I got the Ravens to beat the spread. I got the over on the points even because I think that Lamar Jackson's going to have a good game. I really do. So I think this is going to be one of those games that he himself is going to put up more than that spread potentially.
I disagree. That's not what history says.
So this tells me he's going to go off this week. I don't know. We'll see.
He hasn't got off all year.
He went off last week. He had 4 touchdowns.
Oh, one game. All right, yeah. That's like
You
saying
just said he hadn't gone off all year. I just showed you the last game he played. He got 4 touchdowns.
That's like saying DJ went off against Arizona.
If DJ scored 4 touchdowns, nobody would be talking trash about him this week.
If he scored 4 touchdowns this season.
Except for you, apparently, because that's not a good game. He hasn't had a good game all week, just all year. Just had 4 touchdowns. That's all.
I didn't say great.
Show the man some respect, God damn it.
I didn't say he hasn't played well collectively.
I'm saying, show the man respect. You capitalize the initials of his name. Capital L Lamar. Capital J Jackson.
That's proper English, of course.
Damn straight. Chip
God.
chop jolly-o.
What am I, savage?
Just like when you're in a Buffalo home game.
No, that's when you do elbow drops off the roof into a table.
Oh my.
That's what Buffalo fans do. Pretty much. All right. So we're disagreeing there. But let's go talk about the other team in this division, the Bengals. The Bengals.
The other white meat.
Yes. The Bengals are going into Arizona. The Bungholes.
No, the Bungles. This is a family-friendly program, not like the last one we did.
I was going to say, unless we lose a Giants game. Anyway.
So, I'm wondering, so we've been reaching out to a lot of different media people and ex-players and all about coming onto the show. Actually, we might even have a former NFL player next week there for you guys to come on and talk some football. But I'm wondering, like, they go like, let me look at one of their episodes. All of a sudden, like, F this, F that.
What am I signing up for?
I'm not going on this show. Maybe we should only ask people after the Wednesday episode drops.
Yeah. Or Thursday.
Look at you, Mark Collins. You were invited today.
Please.
Please. Oh, please. Oh, please.
Please, sir. We may have some more. Anyway, back to the games. Bengals and Arizona against the Cardinals. Cardinals are giving up 4 in this game. The over-under is 44.5. Senior Drew.
Yes. See? I think that the Bengals are going to somehow squeak it out. I do think the Cardinals are going to cover the spread because they played everybody pretty close. And I got the under on the points because I don't know what the hell is going on with Cincinnati. But they're just not good. And I'm telling you, this is another game. I would not put $1 on the Cincinnati Bengals right now because they're just something's wrong in Denmark and Cincinnati. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but there's something. I don't think it's just the injury. Don't get me wrong. I think that's definitely part of it. But there's something else going on as well with that Cincinnati Bengal team. So, but because we have to give a pick, that's what I'm going. I'm going Bengals, Cardinals to cover the spread. I think they'll lose by like a field goal, and I think the under on the points.
As the Bengals travel to Arizona, I'm going to go past El Paso.
You can't do El Paso this.
I'm not El Paso. I'm just saying.
Top-outs.
I'm just saying what you just said, jerk. Anyway, I actually think the Cardinals
Call me a jerk. I didn't call you a jerk.
I think
I'm
the Cardinals
sensitive soul
are going to upset and win. You're right. Joe Burrow's calf has not been healthy. They probably should have sat him week 1 or 2. And now you're kind of stuck playing with him. He hasn't looked mobile. The pocket is folding. Even though they have a better quarterback, that quarterback is winning games, even though he's injured with a bad line. Jamar Chase is still an ace in the hole. Mixon's been playing well. They can still move around, but the Cardinals have been playing everyone tough. They've been right in this game. And I think this is one of the squeaky wins that the Cardinals are going to get out.
Squeaky, squeaky.
Squeaky, squeak. And I think it's over just because both these teams are averaging about 25, 26 per game.
We'll say.
We're going to talk about
a game I wouldn't go near, but
yep. Let's talk about the game.
By the way, before we get to the next game, I have to point out I just saw on Twitter, because of course I'm multitasking as always, a quote from one Evan Neal. We're going to talk about that when we're done with the picks.
Oh,
because he just went onto my shit list really quickly.
Well, he's been on my shit list all year.
Listen, I don't put people on the poo-poo list because they're just not playing well. We haven't ever seen him play well. I just don't think he's that great a player necessarily. It's a fair assessment, I think. But he said something now that I don't like. Oh, yes. We'll get to that in a minute, though.
We'll get there after we talk about the crappy Eagles going into LA to play the Rams. The Rams at home, this line went down. The Rams are giving up 4 points at home, which is woof to them. But the over-under is 50.5. Yeah.
Just saying, Mac Jones got over 300 yards in the Eagles.
The Rams. Yeah, no. I think the Rams are flying under the radar, even though the Rams.
Puka Nacua.
He's been playing great ball. I took the Eagles to win this, like as much as I don't want to, but I took the Rams to cover the spread, and with those two offenses, they could just put a crazy amount of points with terrible defense.
Oh, yes.
So I took the over.
Same here. We match up.
Oh, Mr. Trifecta.
If Mac Jones gets 330 yards against the Eagles, how much is Matt Stafford going to get?
Yeah. So if you got him in fantasy, play him.
Just saying, yeah.
Especially with Puka Nacua.
If you're in fantasy land, start Matt Stafford and Puka Nacua.
Oh, yeah. All right. Talk about another surprise quarterback last week.
When you're a jet, you're a jet to the end.
Yeah, well, the Jets are flying into Denver.
Are they playing the Sharks? Please tell me they're playing the Sharks.
No, but they might have jumped the Shark.
No, I'm just saying, wouldn't the Sharks been a much better name for the Miami team? I'm just saying.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, no, watch out. Right. Flipper's coming for you. Great, stupid-ass name.
But they're playing the Broncos, which has nothing to do with the Sharks.
I know.
Oh, Jets and Sharks.
The horse of a different color.
Yes. The horse of the sea.
The seahorse.
Yes.
They have a seahorse. A seahorse is a thing, Rob. It's not just the horse of the sea. Not to be confused with the chicken of the sea, the tuna. Oh my gosh.
The Jets are laying off 1.5. Somehow the Broncos, I guess, home field advantage in this one, but the over-under is 43. Yeah, Drew?
Yeah. The Broncos allowed 70 points by the Dolphins, which makes me think that this might be a get-right game for the Jets offense to a certain degree. And I mean to a certain degree because I'm not going to be as hard on him as Rodney Harrison was after the game on Sunday. Because, wow, Rodney Harrison, whoa, who hurt you? Point to me in the doll where Zach Wilson hurt you. Did he go after your mom or something? Because, oh, my God. Do you see what he said about him? He called him garbage. Flat out called him garbage in the post-game coverage.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, it was not something you expect out of an on-air personality like that. You expect somebody like us to say it.
Yeah.
It's just not. That's not the venue for that. And again, we would say it in a heartbeat ourselves, and I'll say right now, Zach Wilson is garbage.
Well, he is.
But that's not the venue. Anyway, I think the Jets do pull it out. I think they win. I think they cover the little bit of spread different. Actually, yes, I think they're going to win overall. And I think the over on the points, just because the Broncos tend to score points, but they also tend to give up a shnikey little points.
I agree with you mostly. I took the under in this game.
The under, they gave up 70 points. Just 2 weeks ago, they gave up 30 some odd points to the Bears.
There's a difference between having Tua, Waddle, Hill.
How about Justin Fields?
HN and Morris in your backfield. You have a Bryce Hall, which hasn't seemed like Bryce Hall, at full yet because his ACL. You have good old
just
boy lover over there, and yeah, you do got Garrett Wilson, but I don't see them playing as well as Miami. There's a difference.
I'm not saying as well as Miami. but they're going to put up 30, 35 points probably.
I don't think it's going to be that many.
We'll see.
Depends how many picks they throw. All right. You got the Chiefs going into Minnesota. Going to, the Chefs.
The Chefs.
Right. There's an eye in there to this week.
I all week. That's the one I'm always cautious on because last year I kept on forgetting to put the I. But the Kansas City Chefs are in town.
Yeah, well, we put Skeeters for the over/under instead of Steelers.
I fixed that. I saw that. Skeeter. He was not my favorite Muppet though. My favorite Muppet's the old guys.
Yes, they're named after the hotels. Those are my favorite guys.
Those, like when you go to Disney even and go to Hollywood Studios and do the Muppet Experience, those guys crack me up still. I know what they're gonna say. I know it's there. There's something about those old cranky guys. It's funny.
I just can't wait for another 30 years so I could be that guy. 40 years.
Oh, I'm that guy already. I don't give a damn.
I just don't have the wart or the white hair yet.
I know. I got it. I got white hair coming. The money I'll probably never have.
yeah. But yeah, talk about disrespect, but also respect for the Chiefs. The Vikings are giving up 5 in this game.
Yeah, that's fair.
At home. Home field advantage, I guess, means nothing anymore in sports betting.
No, I honestly think that's a fair assessment because the Vikings are what, 1-3? I don't have the record up in front of me. 1-3. So what, you expect them to be a favorite against the Chiefs?
I didn't say that, but I mean, when you're home,
5 points is a decent spread. 5 points is a decent spread. It's not too bad.
Yeah. Well, the over/under is 43.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying what? 38. So they're going to score 19 points, is what they're saying.
I think the big thing you're talking about, though, is with the over/under is, can the Chiefs do their part? That's the scary part. Is I actually trust the Vikings to put up points more than I trust the Chiefs. But I think the Vikings do tend to help the team out by playing bad defense and turning the ball over.
Yeah, they find ways to lose this game. Games in general,
they lose a lot more than the team wins. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. So, who are you taking?
I got the Chefs. The Chefs are going to flambe the Vikings. The Chiefs will win all day long. I think they'll cover the spread no problem as well. I got the over on the points even because I think that, like I said a minute ago, the Vikings will help the Chiefs, score some points. So I think in the end it's going to be like one of those 33, like 37-30 kind of game. It's going to be a high scoring game. I really think so. The bigger question is, will Taylor Swift be there?
Oh, you know it. And she'll be shaking it off when the Chiefs win.
Oh my God! You hear now the NFL. This I saw a thing. The NFL has now realized they're focusing too much on Taylor Swift in the game. You think?
Oh yeah. They showed more of Taylor Swift than they showed of Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs, the Chefs to win this game. I did also take the over, but I think the Vikings lose by 3. I think they have, which is crazy to say, so far thus this year, the Vikings have been able to put up a lot of points. They also have been able to throw away a lot of points. The Chiefs haven't looked quite like the Chiefs of past, but that's probably also because of ball control. But I think the Vikings will lose by 3 or 4. They'll cover that spread.
All right.
Sunday Night Football.
All right.
Giant douche and a turd sandwich.
This is a good game, dude.
It actually is going to be a great game.
I'm looking forward to this game, mostly because I think the Cowboys are going to lose badly.
You and me both hoping. So you got the Cowboys going into San Francisco, playing the Niners. The boys are giving up 3.5.
Boys are back down.
Oh, they're pissed about losing in the playoffs last year. It's not going to be anything.
Why? They should be used to it by now.
That's what I'm saying.
They do every year. They get in the playoffs and lose.
Yep. So the Niners are the 3.5-point favorites here. And then the over-under is 45. Just like we said, not only am I hoping, I honestly believe that This Niner team is way better. I said it as much as I don't want to say it. You go to power rankers, the Cowboys are probably up there in the top 5 or close to it as of right now, just the way the defense is playing. But the Niners' defense is better. Their offense knows how to put it together. They got more weapons. Plus, they're one of the corners. Their starting corners didn't tear their ACL.
Yeah.
I did take the boys to cover this because I do think it's going to be a close game, a high-scoring game, and the Niners will probably win by 3, maybe 4, which I did not put my socks in my mouth. Oh.
I think Niners over. I think the Niners are going to ruin a lot of stuff here for them because keep in mind, the Cowboys have been winning because their defense has been putting up the points. You can't expect that on a consistent basis. You certainly can't expect it against a good, well-run offense, which is what the Niners are. So therefore, they're going to have trouble. They're going to have to depend on Dak to score points. And we know what happens when you depend on Dak.
Oh.
Yeah.
He does not attack.
Oh.
Those picks.
O'Reilly's.
And let's go CMC.
Yeah, like I said, this is going to be a fun one for Giant fans, people that just hate the Cowboys in general to watch. I really think you're going to see the difference in the two teams because the Niners, to me, are a much better team than the Cowboys are, and the Niners are getting healthy.
Yeah, maybe I can put a Joker back in. Anyway, Monday night.
Monday night.
You got the Packers going in to play the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Vegas is saying that Vegas will be giving up 2 points in this game. And the over-under is 44.5. So, Mr. Drew?
I'm going to pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. I think the Packers will win. So, yeah, Packers win. Packers cover the spread under on the points because I just don't trust them to do it. You know, I just don't trust the Raiders to do anything. I don't know. I'm really down on the Raiders. I really am.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, they have enough talent on there that if they had a good coach and they didn't get their own way by getting rid of Carr, I think they possibly could have been a playoff team and made some noise. They got some really good players in this team, but no.
Is Garoppolo playing? I'm pretty sure it's still because he got concussed last week, right? Or was it 2 weeks ago? So
that was
2
weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So he might be playing.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter for me because I'm still taking the Pack attack to win, cover, and I took the over just because I think Love could tear up this defense of the Raiders. And Christian Watson's back, and I think he's going to try to say, "Hey, Devontae Adams, who?"
I'm trying to look. Everything I'm reading, they haven't released anything on Jimmy Garoppolo yet.
I think that's something we'll find out tomorrow because I think the NFL is taking the whole concussion thing a little more serious.
He's still in. Yeah, he's still in concussion protocol as of 2 days ago. Is what they said.
Yeah,
that's the last I'm seeing.
Watching Tua look like
you gotta be careful
with the stars that they're taking a little more serious.
You got to. I mean, look at how bad they were with their, quarterback that threw off as often to the opposing team as did to the Oakland Raiders. I mean, the Las Vegas Raiders. So, it's just, But, yeah, not going to trust them. All righty. On to the last topic here that just came up while we're shooting here. Evan Neal. Evan Neal quickly becoming a fan not-so-favorite. So, Evan Neal was asked about criticism he's received from fans on his performance. And this is per Daryl Slayer of the New Jersey NJ.com there. And when asked about that, Evan Neal says, "Why would a lion concern himself with the opinion of a sheep. Are you freaking kidding me, dude? You give that analogy when the opposing team talks trash about you. Not when the fans do. Not with the fans. Yeah. Especially when it's legitimate to have high expectations of the number 7 overall draft pick. And
play like the number 117th draft.
Yeah. Not playing good, guys. He's not. So, I'm not going to buy that for a second. You have no ability to say that kind of stuff whatsoever, Evan Neal. It's legitimate gripes we have. It's legitimate frustration we have. And if you can't see and understand that to be legitimate, well, to get the hell off the damn team.
Yeah. Why talk about all this work you do and all this work you're doing, and you look like you degressed from your rookie year?
Look bad.
Yeah.
You look bad. So take the criticism. You deserve the criticism. And deal. Grow from it. Be a better player.
Yeah.
And stop saying stupid shit to reporters. Because that's stupid. That's stupid. I guarantee you, cue the apology because it's coming. And I'm not taking it. I don't take apologies that are BS. You said it, which means you were thinking it. Because that is not a minor quote like, oh, I don't let it bother me. That's a line that you were plotting that. You were expecting the question and you had that plotted to say. Don't say stuff like that. You're a smart guy. You're not a very good right tackle right now, but you're not a moron. Don't act like a moron. That's a moronic move.
Yeah, be better
That's
than that.
Stupid. That's absolutely stupid. All right, guys.
Be better than that.
Any final thoughts you want to give there?
No, not really. I mean, we've covered pretty much everything.
All right.
We got Pew that's going to be
pew pew.
Pew meow pew pew
pew. All right, guys. So next episode is just tomorrow night. We have the preview game. We can talk about how badly the Giants will get beaten this week. And we will give you guys a preview of the Giants and the Dolphins. We may cry a little during the episode when we see an actual offense and what one can look like when you actually have a functioning quarterback and offensive line. And yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad. But we'll be back here. So cry with us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you guys then. As always, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Rob's favorite, my LinkedIn profile, and maybe one day again Twitter, because something's acting up with Twitter. But we'll always put the YouTube link up on Twitter right now until we get that fixed. We're of course on every audio podcast platform in known demand. So iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, all those fun ones there. That'll usually be up the next day after the live video is there. So take a look for that as well, guys. Subscribe, share. Much appreciated.
That bell.
All right. Before we get going though, let's real quick read. We got a couple comments here. Let's see here. John says, "How much did you win, Roberto?" He didn't win anything. John says, "Sorry, I went to the bathroom. Who's getting fired?" And then Grandizer 12 says, "Hey guys, hope all is well." And Baba Booey to you. Definitely a Stern fan there. John says, "Never mind. Guess Bears coach getting fired." Yes, he should get fired. Should have been fired already. Grandizer 12 says, "Baba Booey to you, Jeremy, and all your wonderful viewers." I'm not sure who Jeremy is, though. Am I missing something? As John says, "Who's Jeremy?" Jeremy Shockey, LOL. And he says, "Cheerio." Grandizer 12 says, "Baba Booey to you and all your wonderful viewers." He says, yes. Shockey, LOL. Okay, I guess being Shockey. I don't know. John says, "You mean 10-inch poles?" LOL. Oh, no, 10 feet poles.
Yeah.
We fold them up before we put our pants on. Deb says, "Oh, Grandizer 12, Baba Booey, a Stern fan."
She knows.
Oh, yeah. Angelo says, "DJ holds onto the ball too long. O-line sucks." Yeah, that pretty much sums up our season so far.
You missed the first 20 minutes of the podcast.
It was a big rant we had. Probably the same rant we have every single episode now until the season's over. Alrighty, guys. So again, we will see you guys tomorrow night. We'll be on live here discussing our latest loss to the Miami Dolphins, impending doom. We've reached the point of the season where there's no more hope.
Not quite there yet. But it's not looking good.
I'm there. Enjoy it. And I'll see you when you get here.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We'll
see you guys again tomorrow night there as we go over the pregame there. Appreciate you guys listening in and watching as always. And as always, Giant fans,
go G-Man!
G-Man! G-Man!
G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?
Thank you to those who have signed up for our silver gold levels of membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.